Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Rob Moffett. Guys, today we're doing a food video. You know, I do food videos on Friday and review videos on Sunday and wildcard Wednesdays, anything I want. But today we're doing a video on scrambled eggs. I wasn't going to make this video because scrambled eggs are so simple. I've been making scrambled eggs for 50 years. But I noticed on YouTube there's a lot of scrambled egg videos, and almost everybody's doing them wrong. Um, you know, Scrambled eggs, it's about the eggs. It's not about the ingredients because the way I make them, it's simple. There aren't any ingredients except eggs. Like, I don't know how many videos I watched that had like half a dozen ingredients. It's crazy. With eggs, with scrambled eggs, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. With scrambled eggs, it's five things. It's time and technique, but it's are they fresh? How long do you whisk them? How long do you cook them? And then how soon do you eat them? That was four things. Just seeing if you were paying attention. Now, you notice I was hitting the eggs on the counter. That does make a mess. You want to clean it up. You don't want to get egg stuff all over your food and plates. But people say you should hit a flat surface that way. They never tell you why. When you hit a flat surface, you don't break the egg, so you don't get pieces of egg into your rest of your eggs. But we're only going to whisk it long enough for it to come together. You don't want to make a lot of foam, but I do like to have it to where it's almost homogeneous. There's not a lot of white and yellow. It's more or less blended in. But that's a personal preference, I think. So you want to make sure it's fresh. You don't want to mix it too long. Then you don't want to let it sit too long. And then you're going to have a nice technique when you cook. Let's do the cooking. With a no-stick pan, you don't need to use any butter, but a lot of people won't be using a no-stick pan. So I'm going to show you. You don't need to add butter for the flavor and thing. You just want to see the temperature. You're using the butter to see how hot the pan is. If it's starting to bubble really good, then it's a good temperature. If it's burning, then it's too hot. You don't want it too hot. You can cook it really low, but the problem with cooking it low is that it takes long enough where you're going to stop and go do something else instead of paying attention to eggs, and you're going to cook it too long. Because once you start this, you don't want to let it cook too long. Also, you don't want to make it look like it's cottage cheese. You want like layers and folds. You want it to look like, you know how you get out of bed and you got the blankets and they're all folded up over each other? That's what you want. You don't want it to look like a bunch of cottage cheese. Some people make it too dry, or I've seen others. If you're a cook and you're making a lot of eggs, you can end up having it kind of wet. And they say, well, it's going to cook when you put it on the plate. But if you have like a gallon of cooked eggs, it'll continue to cook. But if you put just a few eggs on a plate, that plate is like a heat sink. It's going to get rid of the heat right away. Now, here's the trick with the simple scrambled eggs. You want to touch it or mess with it as little as possible. Imagine each time you put your spatula in there, you had to pay somebody $10. You don't want to do this. Every time you do that, that's $10. You want to make folds. That's what you're doing. You're just making folds. You're not making cottage cheese. Now, a lot of people, they like to add different ingredients, salsa, they butter, salt, onions, chives, cream. You're just making the liquid go to parts that hasn't turned into eggs yet. Right now I owe someone $100. We're almost done. Now if you cook too long, get rubbery. But it's best if they look just like blankets that are folded in a big heap on your bed. That's pretty close. Okay. You didn't overcook them? Oh. You didn't go to the emergency room? Good thing I have a hard head. That's a nice plate of scrambled eggs. It's not rubbery. I think I could have cooked that just a tiny bit more there. Now, some people would say, you know what, that'll cook as it sits on the plate. No, it won't, because this plate is going to remove a lot of the heat. I should have cooked this just a tiny bit more. Maybe. But we can do that. Let's go ahead. Pop it back in. But you run the risk of it getting all rubbery if you do it too long. Won't take but a second to take that wet look off. There you go. You're done. Now I owe $200. So you can't get any simpler. You cannot get any simpler than scrambled eggs. And it's all about the eggs. So many people add all these other different ingredients and cook it so many different ways. You might as well make an omelet or a quiche. This is how I make my scrambled eggs. Been making them this way for 50 years. You don't add a lot of ingredients until after the eggs are done. And we're going to have it with some nice grits and sausage and mushrooms and onions. And this is way too much for me. But most people will be making for other people. I didn't want to make just a tiny bit for one person. Alright guys, hope this was something that was interesting to you. I put in new videos every week. I got a playlist of cooking videos I've made over the years with other people, videos I've liked from them. And we also do reviews on Sunday and wildcard videos on Wednesday. Okay guys, hope this was something helpful to you. And you check out people on my channel that I feature too. A lot of good cooks on there like Chef Buck and Brad and other people. Take care. See you out there.